Guys, it's not even funny, but this is how I used to have to charge my car. Look how it's parked up here. You can barely get in or out. Nice thing is you just hit the button, door opens, stick it in. Won't reach. Stick it in, starts to charge. And then you know what I do to try to keep my garage safe? To try to keep my garage safe, that's the cord won't go down to the ground. It's too tight. So I hit it. Wait, don't damage the car. Come on, stop. That's all I could do. That's the only thing I had. And this is how I charge now. Completely respectable, 8 times the rate of charge. I'm personally stoked. This video is actually sponsored by Autel. I'm gonna give you pro tips you've never heard before. I'm gonna give you installer confidence and homeowner assurance. Step by step, let's go. Hey, it's Joel Walsman, CEO, Master Electrician of Jefferson Electric, getting my first touch, first hands-on of the Autel 12 kilowatt Maxi home charger. I'm super excited. This thing's got functionality that's like up here. I don't know all the details yet. We're gonna find out together. Let me give you a look at the materials I'm gonna use today. We've got other videos about electric vehicle charging. So click here for a step-by-step. Screenshot this so you know what I'm looking at. This is going to come back into play big time later. Keep your eyes on that. I've got a label maker, I've got my Autel, I've got a suite of tools, and then behind me, I've got just the extra basics because I'm an electrician. Let's jump right in. This is my very first look. Separate holster, now that's a plus. A lot of times you're having to buy a holster with your EV charger, but I love getting it holstered up so that pistol doesn't crack on the floor. Tell you what, I sell those holsters with like every job. Good for you guys, integrating that feature. Okay. Protective, nice. Ooh, it's got a beautiful screen on it. Layers of protection. It's hard to imagine this showing up damaged with all this. What is that? Guys, this is my first look at everything. I think that's a mounting plate is what it looks like. Yup, has to be. There is that. I'm gonna leave that in the protective covering. That's the pistol. Oh, there's the holster. And mounting hardware with it. Yeah, guys, appreciate you. Decent mounting hardware. Decent. What's going on there? Ooh, interesting. Now, one thing I'm curious about is I'm driving a Tesla Model 3. This is a J1772 pistol. I'm going to be using the adapter. With the adapter for Tesla, is that going to clip into this? Or am I going to be stuck? I don't know. Find out. At the end of the day today, rain or shine, I'd like to be charging my Tesla at home for the first time. That's my stated goal. We'll be moving pretty fast to get the job done, but that's the goal. All right, hey, look at that. I love the fact they've got the little tool bag, the plug. Again, decent mounting hardware. They've got the labels. Look at that, sharp. Man, I wish every manufacturer sent labels. You know what? I don't care if it's a dishwasher, an oven, anything. Right, other than a light fixture or plug, right? Any household appliance, the manufacturer should be sending labels like this. That's a no-brainer, guys. Man. All right, let's see what else is in the bag. Installation guide. All right, I'm gonna spend a couple minutes here. I won't bore the heck out of you, and I'll tell you what I find. So I've found a couple things that are interesting in the instruction manual. I'm gonna fill you in. IP65, that means it's got an exceptional dust and water protection to the unit. NEMA 4, that's found in the National Electrical Code. Phenomenal, outdoor rated, water tight. Here's another deal. Negative 40 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit, all the way up to 55 degrees Celsius, 131 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like great. So I'm putting this outside on the north end of my carriage home. 2022 technology meets 1938 carriage house. In addition to that, it's 208 to 240 volt compatible, which means that this charger could be installed in a residential and also some commercial settings. fantastic. The other thing that's really impressive to me right here that has tons of applications is the RFID card. The RFID card means that only a user with approved access could operate the charger, which means it's good for commercial settings, business, school, hotel, any place where somebody might be abusing the charging privileges. Now you've got controlled access without subscription fees. That's great. This is the only one I'm aware of that's on the market right now today like that. All right, here's the lay of the land. I'm starting over here. This is my EV charging meter cabinet. It's 400 amp rated. I can literally charge like 8 EVs at the same time. It's nuts. I know, it's over the top. Judge me, go ahead, prerogative. This is my 200 amp trailer panel that I've got connected to it right now. So powered from here, 200 amp trailer panel. Then from that point, it's 60 wire feet of my favorite cable in the whole planet, Trable cable. Link in the description. This Trable cable, it's 3 p.m. now, is gonna be so efficient in the installation process, know your local codes and standards, that I'm gonna finish this and have the Autel commissioned by like 6:30 p.m. That's aggressive. The charger's gonna end up right here. The garage bays, 1938. I think Model Ts were parking in here. They're too small for the Tesla. I pulled it in there. It took me like 4 minutes to get it in, and then I couldn't open the doors. So right here, we're gonna charge and continue parking outside. 25-foot cable. I could charge the bus. If it was electric, it's not. It's like a Triton V8. Or I can charge the Tesla. Easy peasy. So that's it. Let's go. I have to stop and say, there is a ton of available fault current here. There's a ton of juice. This is no joke. If you're not a licensed electrician, back up the truck. All right? This job is permitted. 1, most jurisdictions are going to require permitting. 2, it's not a DIY project. You can judge me here if you want. I had this was my construction power. It was tripping out. If you haven't seen the video of when I put this in, click right here. It's nuts. 22.5 hours. I finished in the dead of night, 5:30 in the morning with my 11 and 13-year-old sons. So this outlet was kicking out. So I literally put it on a 60 amp breaker. Do not try that at home, so that it would stop kicking while I was cutting the brick. So I'll put it back on the 20 amp breaker. Again, power's off, but these terminals on top, they're live. So caution is advised. I don't need that 60 amp breaker. I'm putting my Autel on a 50, 2-pole 50. That makes 240 volts right there. And then my surge suppression. I'm getting some real nice surge suppression. I believe in that stuff. You want to layer surge protection. We've got a video on that. It's going to be landed right here. I've already taken my measurements and transferred them from where I'd like to penetrate on the outside here to the inside. I'm coming in underneath the stairs. We've got a tenant that lives upstairs. Underneath the stairs, through a closet 1, through a closet 2, routing up and over the garage door and popping outside the carriage house. So let's start. See right here, guys, this is the Siemens FS100. Gonna have 2 indicator LED lights. If the power goes out, I'll see it in my lights and it'll give me an audible chirp to indicate. I'm plugging in a $60,000 car, right? Of course I'm gonna protect it with surge protection. I've got a substation that's a quarter mile away. The available fault current here is phenomenal. It's huge. I'm not gonna blow that car out. It'd be an insurance claim, it'd be a $1,000 deductible, but I could be out of a vehicle for, in this present market, 6 to 12 months. Rental cars don't last that long. They're like 4 weeks, boom, back to the shop. So this is my friend. Not all my hope and confidence is in it, but it's a great practice. You've got to have a fitting. Every connector, every wire entry, you've got to have a fitting. It's got to be protected. It's got to be bushed. Okay, so the surge protector is threaded right there. I've got it. The bushing's in. I'm not going to pinch it down real hard. I'm just going to snug it up. My connector's in, and I can pull my brace out of there. Every exterior penetration needs to be sealed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in 2 tap cons, opposite corners, so that thing never moves. 1. Crikey! If you are doing this and you need some help, Guys, check the description. We've got a program called ePro 2 Call. That's where you and I talk on the phone, right? Video chat, Google Meet, whatever's comfortable for you, FaceTime. We talk on the phone and we work through projects together. If you're a contractor estimating a job, man, I've estimated so many jobs wrong. You can learn from my mistakes. If you've got a big bid coming up, if you need a second look, if you're a solopreneur and you're doing it, and maybe you don't know the subject matter at hand. Maybe I don't either, but we could try. So click the link, ePro 2 Call. It's on Square, set it up. I can help you out. Guys, so here's pro tip number 1 and 2. 1, get a good sealant that you're a big fan of. 2, surge suppression for everything. If you're not using surge suppression, 1, you're leaving money on the table, and 2, you're leaving your customers at risk of damage and failure. I would say probably 1 out of 3 customers that I talk to about surge protection say, oh, that's amazing, I would love that. Of course, you know, one time, and then they go on to tell me a story of some lightning strike, some car accident into a telephone pole that caused extensive damage to their home. I have a sound guy, a customer, he's an audiophile. He's got $250,000 of sound equipment in his house. I never even imagined that. However, he had a lightning strike, 2 separate events. He thinks the utility probably caused one of them. And each one caused about $40,000 of damage. Now, I'm selling him a $2,000 surge protector because he's like, I gotta have the best of the best of the best. And that is the best that I could find for single phase applications. It comes with a forever warranty and it covers all types of surges because there are numerous types. So talk to your customers. Don't leave them at risk. All right, guys, you want these to be twisted to minimize inductive reactance. I'm actually going to slide this breaker up because you also want surge protection to be located with the shortest leads possible, nearest the incoming power. So there's the trick. Twist that about a twist per inch. Man, worth it. Every penny. My EV charger is going to be installed right here. I think I'm going to slip out this back knockout. So now my job is hard. It's not easy because I've got, you know what I did? I mounted this cabinet to the wall. Doesn't sound like a big deal until you realize that now I got to get this knockout out. There it is. And that one, come on. Easy. I love this bit right here. This is an SDS Plus. My cordless, I think all electricians should have exclusively cordless tools with very few exceptions. So my SDS Plus 1/4 inch bit, I'm gonna use this to to pilot all the way through the wall. I'm hoping it's long enough. This is quite an epic wall. And then if I can find that inside, I can use my larger bit and drill out and open up the hole of choice. But we'll give it a shot here. All right, we're through the wall. Took a little doing. I had to get that apparatus out right there. I've got just doing stuff while I'm here. Surge protector, everything gets labeled, right? That's the difference between a professional job and a DIY job. Professionals don't label anything. Sometimes homeowners are the most diligent. And I'm a professional in this in my home, so I should have the bases covered. All right, surge protector goes right there. Okay, so it's just a trial fit. That's all that is. All right, that's it. This, my friends, as soon as I apply the Autel label, is ready for a wire pull, and we are making great progress. Tim has been working over here. His surge suppressor is going in great. Had to loosen the panel to get things lined up there. But man, we've got to have one surge protector on every main distribution panel. And these are 2 separate main service panels. This is the disconnect for this service. That is the disconnect for that service, separate and distinct. Here's another tidbit. You can layer surge protector into your home. So if you've got a surge protector at your distribution panel, if you've got surge protector built into your wall connector or your Tesla or at your desk at your computer, keep all of it. if that surge comes in, it's gonna get knocked down when it hits a suppressor or a protector. You let it get knocked down again 2-3 times. That doesn't hurt a thing. That is unlike GFCI protection. You don't want to layer GFCI protection like that. So let's pick out the 50 amp label. I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to use one label, save the other. There's another label for the charger. Save that. It's time to drill a series of 3 holes. That is everything I need to route my cable from the other side where the equipment is, up and over and in to here. Autel, one thing I like about the manual is you can tell it was written by a native English speaker. It's completely lucid. My wife has an Apple Watch 3. She dropped it on the steps and busted it. And I was trying to fix it. I ordered a $38 part on Amazon. And I was going step by step on the instructions, and they were crap. And I wasted 38 bucks and had to buy her a new Apple Watch. That's not going to happen in this case. I feel pretty confident. That gives you a mounting height in the instructions. I'm going to, because I'm not a scientist, I'm an electrician. There's a difference. I'm going to mount this right at the comfortable height. In fact, I'm going to air just a little bit low because I've got kids. And I like to give little kids, big jobs because it helps them grow. Boys will be boys, they say, but I'm raising my 4 boys to be men someday. So let's take a look at this. And look at the inlet. Just so happens that the inlet's on the left side. This is for the Ethernet, which I'm just using Wi-Fi, and this is for power. Ethernet, you know, I'll go a little higher and I'll put the holster a little lower. Yeah, okay. All right, got it. But having the inlet on the left side is perfect because I've got a dividing wall and I've got to come in and out of this left side. So I really am not too concerned about the height, but I do want to get it centered up. 25 inches, so 12.5 is center. Mortar joint, should have figured. Look at that, 1.5 bricks, genius. Who needs a folding rule, non-conductive electrician's folding rule, when you can measure by the brick? So the unit is 6 inches wide, and the inlet port is 1 inch. 1 inch off, so it's right there. So I'm going to drill through here at an angle. So I come out right there. How far do I have? 13 inches. Where am I? Oh yeah, I'm fine. It's beautiful. All right, let's drill some holes. Hey, I'm gonna link pretty much all these tools and materials in the description below. I'm going to give you other videos to watch to round out your understanding. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you one unexpected gem. Stick around. Okay, I like it. Guys, this is not a beautiful space in my home. It's a closet in a garage, and it's busted up. So there's some due diligence to understand what you're drilling into, how one side of the wall matches up with the other side of the wall. I'm curtailing that a little bit with some trial and error. It's gonna be quick, it's gonna be dirty, I might run into issues, but I've got some plaster repair to do anyways, and so I'm looking for expediency right now. All right, let's see if that worked. Should probably be a little bit obvious, but I'm gonna call it a pro tip anyways. Look, I'm gonna drill through from here to there. And what I'm gonna do first is make sure that I've got the same measurement on both sides. Because the last thing I want is to pop out into the stairwell or the apartment upstairs or something like that, because it looks a heck of a lot better than this. So I've got 28 from the jamb up. Both sides, I'm good to go. Always wear your eye protection. Anytime you're drilling where you're at risk of dust, fiber flyings, especially aluminum and steel bits, they're brutal, absolutely brutal. Gotta wear your protection. And then the other dimension I need is inside. Ooh, longer than I thought. How far over to line it up? 8 inches square. Pencil time. Don't Sharpie on your finished walls. It takes like 3 coats of Kills to clean it up. Kills paint, you know? All right, there it is. Now 8 inches That's the edge. And now I've got a marker for my hole. And here we go. You know what's there? Metal lathe. Easy. And this is not the right bit for metal lathe. No, I'm past that. Oh man, probably just hit a nail. Might need to go with a hole saw. One more quick try. Okay. Take a look inside the hole. Make sure you know what you're hitting. Heck, could be a wire or gas line. You never know. And if it's nothing critical, we'll put a hole saw on it and just go right through. Okay, I did barely miss a BX cable. It's just to the left of that. That's an electrical cable, original to the structure. I've got a bit of metal in there, so I'm using a slightly thinner bit, still large enough for my cable, that should be able to dodge between the two. It's a tight spot, guys, tight spot, and make it through the wall. Making decent progress. Started at 3. It's now 4:30. Unwrapping my cable. Guys, this Trable cable is amazing. I'll tell you what. Okay, it's got a higher rating, temperature rating. If you're an electrician, you know what that means. It means higher ampacity rating. It's a 6.3 with an 8 gauge ground. It's cheaper than Romex, even though it's UV resistant. That means rated for outdoor exposure to sunlight. It's water resistant. It's direct burial rated. It's super cable. It also has a durability resistance, resistance to damage that's higher than Romex, which means that we're able to run it on the surface of the wall and strap it up. If I was hard piping this, meaning PVC or EMT, electrician pipe, with all these bends and offsets, it would probably take me half a day, maybe 3 hours to run my pipe. Just my pipe. And then I'd be pulling conductor through that. I can do it one-stop shop with this cable at a cheaper cost than Romex. That's the basic, like the flimsiest cable that you can buy off the shelf from a home store. And this is super cable. It's because they cut out middle people in the distribution. Link in the description. Here we go. I'm gonna start at the midpoint here and send this cable through the wall, as opposed to pulling the full length of the cable, the full distance of the project. And it's slick too, so it really just glides. Okay, I've got my side pouch on here. I've got everything I think I'm gonna need until I sit down, and I'm gonna go ahead and start strapping up my cable. I'm gonna avoid any really sharp bends, like I'm not trying to jam that over, right? And so I'll let that have just a little sway. I don't want anything to snag on it, and I don't want people to use it as a clothesline. But man, down here we don't do anything with this closet. It is exactly like we found it when we bought this house, as is from the previous homeowners 2.5 years ago. We haven't touched it. I don't know what this doggy door thing is either. Like, it's just weird. It's weird stuff. So what I don't know is I'm using 1/2 inch 1-hole straps to secure my Trable cable. Let's go right there. I verified on the outside that I've got plenty of cable. Real important. And now I'm systematically working my way so that the excess cable gets worked through this closet, the next closet, and gets pushed all the way to the far end. And I want to have a little extra here and there where I can, so that if I run into an issue, I'm going to be good. Like for instance, right here, you know, just that little sag and swoop, just that little extra. You never know. You might need it. No framing behind this wall, so my drywall screw is a no-go. My Tapcon didn't grab anything. There's a void. I don't know if that's how this wall is constructed, so now I've resorted to my toggle bolts. However, I always use toggle bolts on every material list for EV charging, because you're always anchoring in drywall, plaster, some kind of finished wallboard, and man, these things are good. So phenomenal grab, easy to use. I'll back that up. It's a little learning curve. Little learning curve. Not too bad. Okay. There it is. It's in. All right, I'll give it a tug, make sure the toggle's opened up. Sometimes it'll just pull right back out. Nope, that one's good. Okay. Yeah, you can see them, they've opened up. So that's a good grab. Kids are playing with the Tesla. Do you hear those fart noises? Lift it all the way up. Oh, one of them didn't open up. Look at that. Oof, come on. There's the learning curve. Okay, so we don't have video games for the kids, but we did make the mistake of buying a Tesla. So now they're playing video games in the car. It's a racing game. It's called Beach Buggy. They love to do that, of course. All right, that's good. Okay, so generally speaking, secure your wire within every 4.5 feet. And we are ready to make terminations at the Autel, Maxicharge, and then at the panel. And then we do testing and throw the breaker live and do commissioning. And then we charge the car. Like, I'm at like 62% right now. It's time to rock. So I'm planning the next couple of moves here. And if I put my Tesla adapter in to my J1772, now my curiosity is this. That's the thing. I think my holster, I'm gonna go ahead and mount this because it's got cable management built into it, right? And so I gotta have someplace to hang all this. I don't know. I mean, that would catch a little bit, but I don't think it's really made for that. All right, I'm gonna take my little screws, put them in a cup holder there. This small, I'm gonna call it like a T10 Torx, is supplied by Autel. I'm probably gonna label the little bag they come in and hang these wrenches right inside the garage on a little hook, not far from the scene of the crime. And here's a thought for you. You might be saying, well, I don't want to put this outside. I know it's ready for it, but things deteriorate and the sunlight's not going to look as good 5 years down the road. Okay, all right. What you can't do is you can't have the flexible cord, this guy, passing through the wall like this cable does. That's a violation. Flexible cord is not. It's not rated for that. You'll fail an inspection. That's number one. Number two is, you see I've got my torque screwdriver out. We're gonna end up torquing down all the terminations to spec. Electric vehicle charging is a very high draw load. That means high potential for dramatic failure. Dramatic failure means fire. And so qualified personnel, proper connections, the right strip length, maximum 6-gauge conductors terminated to this unit. The breaker's gonna have limitations as well. Torque it down. No shortcuts. Electric vehicle charging has a high potential for dramatic failure. You heard it from me. Now it's watertight, right? You gotta maintain the ratings. So I get it. But we've got to get in here, and I think it's these screws. I'm gonna try it. Why reference the manual when you could waste a bunch of time? Oh, not captive screws. Okay, I love it if they were. Just because, gloved hands out in the cold, not laboratory conditions, plenty of room to drop things like I've just done. But heck, a lot of screws are not captive screws. Okay, pop that guy out because that's my wire entry. I'm now going to put a wire connector in there. Remember, every wire entry needs a bushing or connector. And then this gland fitting, I'm not using it. So I'm going to take it out. You see, they make hardwire versions and they make NEMA 1450 plug-in versions. I love that they've got the ability to be adaptable to your situation. There it is. That's the one we're looking for. You just take a large slotted screwdriver. Once you've started it by hand, there it is. Okay. And I'm not using this. That's for Ethernet or RS-485 wire entry. I didn't notice, but I'm guessing RS-45 is when you're ganging multiple of these together and they're managing load. Okay, so that, my friends, is what we're shooting for. Let's go ahead and get this cable cut to length now that I know exactly how long it needs to be, and that's lots of ways to cut wire. I'm gonna use this handy dandy little bandsaw. Always allow for a little waste, but I didn't expect 15 feet. Well, at $4 a foot, I just created $65 of scrap. Now, we take this back to the shop, hang it on the hooks, label it with its footage, and use it because it's not used, it's leftover material, which is very different. So, not a total waste, but accurate estimating pays dividends. I overdid it. But ciao. This is just a trial fit. I like it, I like it, I like it. Okay, got the spirit level, true it up, dial it in, know your numbers, plenty of room for error and failure. Let's line that up. Always make your crosshairs because your mark will go away as soon as that roto hammer hits the brick. Boom, you lose the face of the brick, the mortar, and now you're driving blind. So I'm giving it about an 82% chance that that's right. Oh, that one's bald too. Dang, that brick was hard. I need to get some more 3/16. This may not go. This tip of this bit's been totally worn down. Let's give it a shot here. I got a pro tip, don't go anywhere. I've been managing my trash, my parts. I've got my connector from a wire. See, this is a pop-in connector, and what I love about this is it's gonna slip over the cable and it's gonna sit pretty much flush to the brick, although it's gonna be very, very tight. So I'm gonna have to kind of relax it a little bit, but I'm not ready for that yet. It's time to mount. Here's the deal, guys. Here's the tip. Always remove dust from the surface. I just blow, and then I'm careful not to breathe back in because those particles will be airborne and you'll choke on it. Here's the pro tip. Caulk your holes and don't caulk around the perimeter of your equipment because, very important, if you caulk around, if you mount this beautiful new EV charger and then you caulk around the perimeter to seal it all up, that caulk is going to be visible. If it's visible, it's going to get UV degradation. If it gets UV degradation, it's going to discolor, it's going to contract, even if it's really good stuff. And I love this OSI, man. This stuff is good. OSI, Oscar, Sally, Igloo. It's still going to shrink and contract over time, deteriorate, because it's not UV protected, and it's going to look bad. And it's going to fail prematurely, and that's not smart. Okay, all right, come on. Loosely until we get the top one in. Spirit level. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. Ready to install. Okay. Fantastico. We're gonna have to seal that, get our fitting in there. Oh, any water infiltration into the back of the charger or into the house. Let me see my light here. Yeah, I'm almost there. Get some good light inside on your work.
Need your headlamp, Joe?
Yeah, might, depending on. Okay, we're in. There's a securement screw at the bottom. I'm gonna put that in so this doesn't pop off on me. There's a screen protector on there, and I wanna be careful I'm not getting my ooey gooey sealant hands all over this. Tamper-proof screw there. Love the fact, so no, someone can't steal your Maxicharger. Tug test, everything's looking, feeling good. I like it. I do like the fact that it stands off the wall a little bit, so you're not dependent on a flat surface, because sometimes you're mounting to fieldstone, limestone, things that are uneven. So the fact that the bracket flush to the wall, unit off the wall, helps a little bit. I really like that. All right, let's get this Light in there, make our terminations, torque things down. Next steps, real simple. We're gonna make our terminations here, make our terminations at the box, test, flip, commission, boom, cleanup time, dinner time. Okay, looks like a neutral is not required with this unit. It's a 240 and ground. So I'm just gonna cap, thanks Tim. I'm just gonna cap, oh man, but this cold weather, these conductors get sharky. So I'm gonna cap my neutral. I always like running a 3-wire because, let's say for instance I had a NEMA 1450 here, that's got a neutral connection. So I'd have that at the ready, or I swap out my charger, or technology gets updated. The last thing I wanna be is one 60-foot conductor short, redoing the entire installation start to finish because I tried to save money by saving one conductor. That's silly. All right, so I cut my wire long enough so I can loop in. I've got just another 2-3 inches. Again, if something goes wrong, connector burns up. Now, here's an important tip. Make sure you land the right wire on the right terminal, right? But not only that, when you're landing stranded conductors like number 6, like you will be using for really any kind of level 2 home charging, very rare to use something smaller than number 6. When landing the stranded conductor, this is a pro tip. Wiggle it as you tighten it simultaneously, and then loosen it up a little bit, wiggle a little bit more, and tighten it back down. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna get the fibers, the strands of the wire to seat, to mash, and you're gonna increase your surface area, and you're gonna prevent them from coming loose at a later date. You wanna get the right strip length on your wire. So 2 things don't happen. 1, you don't wanna have any insulation in your terminal, because it's insulation. It's gonna prohibit or limit conductivity. 2, you don't want to strip so long that you've got a bunch of bare conductor hanging out, because that becomes a potential hazard. And then you always, when you're done terminating, you do the tug test. So you wait for there to be a little bit of tension on the wire, and you wiggle, tighten, loosen it back up, and then repeat that process. Wiggle, tighten, then don't over torque it. We're gonna come back with a torque screwdriver. That's what that's for. Under torquing is just as bad as over torquing, and vice versa. Okay, it's 17.7 inch-pounds. It's marked right in there. I should have read it before I put my conductors in. That's there. In fact, I'm gonna loosen this up a little bit and come back to it. There it is, that click. You only need 1 click, it's tight. There it is. All right, and then make sure nothing came out. A little tug test, nothing's loose, no bare conductor. Boom, done. All right, make sure your gland fitting is tight on the bottom. Not death grip, you never death grip plastic fittings, but see this here? I'm just gonna give that a nice, that's plenty. I just wanna have good solid strain relief. There's strain relief in here too, but if I don't, what's gonna happen is this cord is gonna get tugged on. In fact, I might even have a kid hanging on it, you never know. So I want that to be snug. Everything else is closed up. Pretty darn close. Okay, right here in the very upper right, there's a dial, and there's a page in the instructions about how to set that dial. Number 6 corresponds to 50 amps, and that's where I'm gonna set it, because that's my branch circuit size. All right, it is 5:56. I said 6:30 in the original projection. We're pretty close, I've got to terminate this. Here's my 2-pole 50 amp breaker. Put a connector in there. I don't want that cable sitting on the sharp metal edge. That's a bad recipe. Where things do move, right? Houses, buildings, believe it or not, they're not static. They do move, and it could wear through over time. So I'm gonna take my split, we call them pop-in connectors. In the trade, often you might have a name for this little guy. What do you call it? Okay, we got the pop-in connector there. You can see that black rim. It's exactly what I was shooting for. And then I get my Knipex knife in there. Oh, this jacket is heavy. Hello. Man, that's one thing about being an electrician you'll find is electricians, man, they stay fit. Guys who live good, clean lives and work in the electrical trade, they stay fit into old age because it's not such hard work that you burn anything up, wear anything out. Most of it, especially as you get a little bit older, man, the value is up here. It's up in the acorn. And so you're working with your head and you're managing teams, you're engineering, designing, selling projects. And so these guys, they last. Man, I know one electrician, this is not an exaggeration, he's 87 years old. And his helper that gets in the crawl space is 65. It's just a retirement gig, they do it on the side. Man, I know an electrician who's 75, still gets up on roofs, fit as a fiddle, big, strong, meaty hands. I mean, it's something else. These guys, they don't go to the gym. They've just been active their entire life and they are fit. It's time to make terminations. So my ground's coming up here to my ground bar and I'm gonna work it behind. These main feeders, main service cables, they're live. So I'm gonna give them some respect. So I just use my standard screwdriver. This is an insulated screwdriver, so a little more safety there. Loosen it up, tighten it back down. Guys, I'm gonna give you one little teaser here. There's an issue, a workmanship code issue hidden somewhere, not related to the charger, but just hidden somewhere in this video. I want to know if you can find it, comment below. I'll engage with you guys, chat about it. And if you see me doing something that's not right, I'm on a perpetual path of learning. I'm growing every day. So comment below. I read the comments, I learn and grow. You guys help me out a lot. All right, so this is L1, L2. L1 terminates here and here. So I'm gonna take my black, which is L1 on the other side. I'm gonna maintain consistency. It's gonna work either way, but occasionally, in certain applications, you can get into issues if you don't respect L1 and L2, such as power line communications, three-phase for sure, high leg delta for sure, but for now, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that L1 is L1, and you can look at the bus and figure that out, or you can use a continuity meter, but that's not this video. So if you're not sure what that means, you'll have to live in wonder and wait. Actually subscribe to Electric Pro Academy for real skills to make real money, and we'll talk about it later. So this is one reason, right, why parents tell their kids don't go into the trades. You know, it's because I'm outside when it's 28 degrees on my knees on the cold ground, working my tail off at 6:15 p.m. You know, it's not an office job, it's not a banker's job, but you know what? It's 28 degrees, but I'm not cold because I'm working. And I never incurred any educational debt. And I've enjoyed my work. And I'm highly respected among all the trades and other people too. People respect electricians. It's very respectable. And I can do all my own work, and I save money on my house, and I've been able to flip investment properties and make side income. And you can make 6 figures or more as a master electrician without having to enslave yourself and travel all over the country. And there it is. All right, I'm gonna make sure hands are clear on the other end. I'm gonna throw the breaker with my voltmeter ready. If I see any funny business, I'm gonna shut it right back off. But I'm gonna check for 240 volts, and we're gonna commission the system. We're close. Oh! Forgot to torque it all down. Almost forgot to torque it down to 45 inch-pounds. Torque down neutral and ground connections as well. Oh, where is it? Let me tell you what, Grandma ain't gonna be able to do that. Okay, time to do our voltage check. We're gonna go L1 to L2, right here across the terminals. And we have got 248.9. I think it's running a little hot at this utility, so that's what's called 240. So that's hot to ground, and the other hot to ground is 124.4. There it is, I like it. All right, let's put that cover on, I believe. Okay, we are commissioning the system, and it's super straightforward, like no explanation required. It's screen by screen, step by step, everything that everybody's used to, logging into anything about everything. So you pair Bluetooth, you connect to Wi-Fi, confirm your email. I'm just screenshotting a couple things for my information so I don't lose track of it. All the gas people, if you're still watching at this point, you're like, this is stupid, all of this just to run your car. But guys, I'll never stop at a gas station again. And so guys, there are two things I want to bring your attention to. One is adaptive load management. I don't fully understand how they're accomplishing this, but this guy's going to have the ability to adapt to the load on the service, which means reducing the rate of charge, if I'm understanding correctly, when the service is at capacity to manage the available power, as opposed to overcurrent, which means fault. You're going to trip your main breaker, you're going to overheat your gear. That's bad. So love the adaptive load management. Want to understand more about that. RFID, right, if this is a public space, which really isn't, then you could walk up here with a card. Let's say you're at a hotel, a school, a business, anywhere, right? Or you've got a pedestal at the alley, at the street, wherever you park your car, at the parking pad, at your condo, right? Tap your card. You could do it through the app too, but you could distribute cards to friends and family. You tap the card. That enables the charger. In my case, I need to use my Tesla adapter that came with the vehicle. Let's see if I'm gonna probably need to use the app to open the charge port. Let's see here. Boom. It's in. See what happens. Got a blue light and a blue light. It says charge. I think it's paired to Bluetooth. Rate of charge is set to 40 amps. Jet has started charging, says my Autel app. Received a notification. However, the Tesla app and the Tesla itself is not showing that. Boom! Okay, so I have to say, when you're using a Tesla wall connector like we do at work, you just click the button, stick it in, and it starts charging. I did have to manually open the charge port. Not a big deal, right? You got to do that with a gas cap. And I had to push start charging. But now it's automatically understood that this is a 40 amp charger, which is cool. So that's 50 amp branch circuit capacity. D rate because of continuous load, which is a code thing, which means that this under normal circumstances could run for 3 hours or more, which means we're 80% of circuit value. 80% of 50 amps is 40 amps. So it's working! Yes, that's satisfying. That's, you know, the most exciting things that we get to do for customers where they just become elated is interior lighting, solar panels, and electric vehicle charging. They just made a $20,000 to $120,000 purchase, and now they're charging it at home. They've taken control of their energy, their footprint. It's beautiful. They just fires them up. Those three things just fires them up, and that's satisfying to me. So I'm gonna give this a fantastic on a scale of lousy to fantastic. I really like it. Guys, Autel is 100% worth your time and money. I'm gonna drop a comment and pin it to the top if I've got any issues with this anytime at any point. I'll put it in the vid. I think at this point it's a wrap, and my only advice to you is this. Subscribe to Electric Pro Academy for real skills to make real money, and check out our next video on smart panels.